right, okay, let's get to the Melbourne Storm. Where did Melbourne fall short?
Well, Braith, they wasted some chances in the second half, particularly that Tui Kamikamica opportunity. I think if they scored that, they probably win the game. But I thought in the second half, they didn't have a lot of ball, and their big guns really failed to make an impression on this game. You look at what Reece Walsh did, and then you compare it to Ryan, Cam Munster, Jerome, and Harry Grant. They didn't really make an impact on the game in the second half. Now, as I said, they didn't have a lot of ball second half, but first half they created some chances. Second half they just couldn't get their side over the line.
I thought they stopped playing in the second half. I don't know how much the injuries, moving Wishart out to the centres. I don't know how much energy was out of the tank with the Melbourne Storm.
It was symptomatic of their season. That's what they've been like all year.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they've had patches where they played great. And then they
don't burn 10-point leads. That club just doesn't do it. Penrith don't do it, and Canberra, we knew the comeback was on there, but it was pretty simple.
Those
who tipped Melbourne said they'd do it through Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Cameron Munster,
and Brisbane defended them.
And you know what? I thought Jerome Hughes played strong. I thought Harry was below his best. I thought Cameron was below his best, and definitely Pappenhausen. Yeah. I think Pappenhausen's, apart from, when he shagged he's lost speed. He'd have burnt. I know Walsh is fast. A couple of tries there. For the life of me, when he followed Katoa through, he was on his hip.
Defensively, Pappenhausen didn't put his body in too many collisions there.
But they've been disconnected all year. I think they've been disconnected all year.
They didn't. Like when things were going well the first half, it's like, they looked like they're on. It still wasn't brilliant, but they were looking good. Second half, it was. They just looked like a disconnection between the spine. I think all of them really. Second half was poor.
I read your post-mortem you did on Melbourne Storm today, and I thought you were quite strong, and in your comments on there. But then I'm thinking, what do you want? Like, there's 15 other clubs would kill to be in a grand final.
Of course.
And you know what? They led by 10 at half-time. They were not good enough, and the one reason they were not good enough is one player, Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Without Reece Walsh on the football field, they're premiers.
Still tough pill to swallow. 2 grand finals in a row. They had that one. They did have it. Brisbane was simply outstanding.
Did you talk to anybody at the Storm, Braith?
Oh, shattered. They're shattered. Yeah, they're shattered. They definitely feel like, they feel like it's the one that got away for sure. The Kamikamica play, they'll be dreading that for forever.
Well, if he brings it back to his chest, he falls over. But that must be hard. You see the line, you get the ball.
Yeah. But again, I go back to this though, and I said it myself at half time, is if the game was never done and Brisbane were looking very dangerous. From the start, it was just that Melbourne executed better the first half. Second half, they were poor. And Brisbane deserved it. They were just way too good. They were the better team, But there was a couple of big moments. And what do we talk about in all big games? Comes down to moments. And Brisbane did it better than Melbourne. Pappenhausen, Nelson and Pezzett. You've written about this today. I read your article too today.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. I think it's a huge off-season.
Bit of a contract puzzle that needs to be worked out.
It is, and it's a huge off-season for them. I don't think Nelson will be at Melbourne next year. I think that's...
Is that right? That's big because
I expect him...
They've been trying to offload him for a while.
They have been, Braith.
So
where will he go?
I don't know where he'll go. I just don't think he'll be at Melbourne.
How have they got rid of him?
Well, I think they've been talking to him for a while about it, Braith, is my understanding.
Has he landed somewhere or you just know he's leaving?
My gut feel is that he won't be there, as I said. I don't know where he's landing, or I know that he's been offered to the Warriors. I think they've knocked it back.
Are there other problems apart from his foul play and discipline?
I think it's just an accumulation of things, Buzz. I think, it's felt like he's worn his welcome out a bit there for a while, and I think they've reached sort of the end of their tether with him. And Ryan Pappenhausen is the other big one, because all the talk about R360, he was going to go to R360 at the end of next year. I think there's a school of thought that maybe if you want to go to rugby, Go now.
So are they resigned to the fact that he may leave or is leaving?
They think he's going to R360 at the end of next year.
End of next year?
End of next year.
So he'll play for Melbourne next year?
Well, I don't necessarily think so.
If that's Melbourne's stance, if you're going to 360, give him a cab docket and take him to any airport he wants to go to.
And I think that will be discussed in the season.
That's pretty strange, because last year they said that when he was out, they knew that they couldn't win the grand final. And then now, after this year, they say that they don't want him there.
I don't think Paps is at his best year. I think we can all see that. I think he's looked down all year. I could even say he's looked a little bit distracted at times. And obviously 360's been going on in the background. Great player when he's at his best, but he just hasn't been at his best this year.
I had my opinion on it about a month ago, and I stand by that. Does that mean Farlungo goes straight to fullback if he's not there?
Well, I would think Nick Meaney did well at fullback when he played there this year, Braith, but the other option's Munster. I mean, they've got to fit in Munster, Pezzett. This is your baby.
Yeah, but I got to say, you watched the two teams last night, and the difference was speed, creativity, youth, exuberance. And I'm thinking, if I'm Melbourne, we need some of that. And Farlungo is the perfect one to put in there.
Yeah.
Like he's got what Ezra and Reece have got.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely see that. I mean, they're forwards. They need. If Nelson's moving on, they need some forwards. That's where they got beat last night as well in their pack.
Braith, what about Jonah? I mean, obviously there's a lot of interest in Jonah Pezzett at the moment. And Cam Munster, you look up to both those guys. Where are we at with those guys?
Huge couple of weeks. I mean, more so Jonah because, again, with that clause with Jerome, if we want, we can execute a clause where he's a free agent right now.
What's your gut
Well,
feel?
free, so not a loan deal. He can play.
He can be free. It can be loan or it can be long term.
Yeah.
So
what's your gut feel on it, Braith?
I don't know. I've got a lot of work to do the next couple of weeks.
What's his gut feel? Does he want to stay in Melbourne and go what Harry did and spend a year?
I'd say this: he loves Melbourne.
Yep.
And he went there for a reason. He's loved everything that he's done there, and it's positioned him into the player he is right now. But he's also more than ready, and he has been so patient. And the patience, how long can he keep waiting?
You're 100% right. He was an apprenticeship player for a couple of years. He's now an NRL player, and you wouldn't be doing your job if the clubs like South need a halfback, clubs like St George Illawarra need a halfback, Titans do, Canberra Raiders should be at this. He's got to go to an
Braith,
NRL
the other big
club.
one, I spoke to Matt Tripp in the lead up to the grand final. He spoke about Cameron Munster.
Yeah.
And he said, look, we'd love him to stay, right? But if Cam wants to explore Perth, we'll allow him to do that.
It goes both ways too, Ree.